Hello everybody, how are you doing? Are you having a great day? Is it fantastic? I really hope it is. My name is Emily and I am the artist behind Fantastical Finishes and I'm a furniture artist. Today is the day where we get to paint her. This one, whoa! This one, I'm falling over. We get to paint her and it's been a journey. You guys, if you've seen all my other videos, we've gone through all of the steps of how to get her ready to be painted. So I'm super ready to paint her and I hope you guys are super ready to go on that journey with me. DIY videos and painting furniture are things that interest you. Go ahead and subscribe, that'd be great. Hit the like button, give me some comments, I'd super appreciate it. Otherwise, let's get rolling. Alright, so I have a vision for this dresser behind me already, and I wanted to talk through that with you a little bit so you kind of know where I'm going. So I envision a Cinderella vibe, because look at how ornate she is. She has these beautiful molds and these keyholes. And I just envision like Cinderella colors. So in order to achieve that look, I am going to do a technique called dry brushing. And our base color, it's going to be Hurricane. And this is by Country Chic Paint. And I really like this paint, but let me show you what the base color is going to be. Is this beautiful gray, dark blue color, like dark gray blue. And then our second color that we're going to use, and that's going to be with the dry brushing technique, it is called Belle of the Ball, and I think it's quite fitting for Miss Cinderella dresser here. But let me show you, it's kind of hard to tell, but it's this really light blue with an undertone of gray to it, and it just made me think of Cinderella. So that's gonna be like the main color of our lovely piece behind us. And we're also going to use a little bit of crinoline, and that's our white color. It's the same color we used on the top, and that's gonna be like our highlights, because I love a piece with just a hint of highlight, make it pop. Other than that, the tools that we need, paintbrush. I'm going to use probably a couple, but my main one for this base color here of Hurricane, I'm going to use my nice mini angled from Dixie Belle. And I just really like these brushes because they just do such a good job of making things go on like nice and smooth. So I want a smooth base layer, so I'm going to use her. Oh, and I want to mention that she is a synthetic bristle brush. So that's what we're going to use to get that smooth base layer of Hurricane. But then I'm going to use a natural bristle brush, and that's what I'm going to use for the dry brushing of the Belle of the Ball color. So you need a synthetic brush and a natural bristle brush. Natural bristle brush. Say that 10 times fast. Natural bristle brush. Other than that, handy dandy water, and you're going to be good to go. So I'm going to get my paint clothes on, and then we're going to start painting. Here we go. I forgot to mention, but I will link all these products that I'm using today in the description below. Like in the YouTube video, not right here, but in my description below. Okay, I'm ready. Are you ready? Let's go. Let's get our paint clothes on and go. Woo!
The first thing I did was tape off the top from the rest of the dresser because I don't want to get any of this blue-gray paint on my nice white finished top. So I'm going to tape off the whole ledge here. Okay, so I'm ready to paint now. I'm going to start with the top headboard kind of ledge, whatever you want to call that. And I'm going to dip a little bit of paint onto my paintbrush. And I am going to just start painting this headboard. This is our base color, and this is the color Hurricane by Country Chic Paint, and this is gonna go all over our dresser. This base layer is great because it's our darker color, and when we dry brush our lighter Belle of the Ball color on top, that darker color is what's gonna give it the dimension. The goal of this base layer is to get a nice, even, and smooth layer of paint. So I'm just going to go back and forth with my brush and getting all of the edges and the little grooves and things of this piece, and I'm going to smooth it out. So you can paint up and down and diagonal and around, but just make sure you go back over in one direction to smooth out your paint. I like to take my time on the side pieces right here because there's a lot of details and ridges. So I take more time to really get the paint in those areas so there's no wood kind of showing through. I want to make sure the paint covers all of the wood. When it comes to the moldings, I like to take my paintbrush and dab over the molding. And what this does, it allows the paint to get in all those little areas in the moldings that would be hard to get if you just kind of swiped your paintbrush over it. So I keep doing the dabbing motion to get all the little cracks and crevices of this molding, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to smooth it out with my horizontal and vertical paint brushes, swiping nice and smoothly across the mold. But you need to get all the paint in those little areas first before you do that. I'm going to finish painting the front of this dresser, paying attention to the moldings and the detailed areas to make sure I get the paint in all of those little detailed wood pieces. Other than that, I'm just going to go ahead and finish the front here. When you're done painting the drawer, pull it out a little bit and run your fingers across the top and the bottom ledge. This will help get rid of any unwanted paint drips. I do this so that the drawers won't get full of globby paint and get stuck. Now that I've finished painting the front, we can do the side. The side is very simple because there aren't any moldings, so just focus on making nice even brush strokes. And here is what our base layer looks like. Super smooth and very pretty. I do like this color. Now that the base layer is done, I'm going to grab my natural bristle brush, and I'm also going to get my Belle of the Ball blue paint, and I'm going to start my dry brushing technique with this color. I'm going to get an extra little piece of cardboard, and I'm going to dip my paintbrush just a little bit in the paint, and I'm going to take off all the extra on this cardboard. With dry brushing technique, you do not want a lot of paint on your brush because you're just lightly brushing the paint onto your piece. Now that I have a little bit of paint on my paintbrush, I'm going to lightly go back and forth across the area I want the Belle of the Ball blue color. And I'm going to repeat the process of lightly dipping my paintbrush in the paint and taking the extra off on the cardboard, and then going back and forth again with my brush with a little bit of paint onto the surface. I want the center of the drawers to be a more solid Belle of the Ball color, so I'm going to just repeat the process of dry brushing over it until I get the coverage I want. What I don't want to do is I don't want to just stick a bunch of paint on my brush and just go ahead and get solid right in the middle, because that would be a different technique. I want to do this dry brushing technique on this old dresser because I want this kind of old world Cinderella aged look, and dry brushing is great to kind of get that aged look. When I get close to the edges, I'm going to dry brush less and less because I want kind of the corners and the edges to have that darker shading look. So really my main focus is getting more of the bell of the ball kind of more heavy in the middle, and then I'm going to taper it out so it is less and less and almost none on the corners. These side moldings are really fun to do because you can like see it instantly, how the dark colors in like the crevices and the deeper parts of the mold kind of stick out, and the lighter color just highlights it, and it's really satisfying and I really love it. Now I'm going to just repeat the process on the next drawer. You can see I didn't quite finish the top drawer yet, but we're going to come back to that. When it comes to the moldings in the middle, I'm going to use the littlest amount of paint, and I'm going to lightly go over it because I don't want to get the light blue in all the deep crevices, because I want the dark blue to stay in those parts to make it look shaded. Then I will dry brush around it, leaving a little bit of space around the molding edges for shading and keeping the other parts a little more solid. Once I got more solid coverage of bell of the ball in the middle area, I went ahead and focused more on the edges of the drawer because I want it just to have a light shading of the hurricane color underneath. So I'm going to take my bell of the ball and really just get it to the edges there, really focusing on trying to get the lightest amount of hurricane to poke through along the edges. Now all that's left is to get the coverage with dry brushing on the rest of the front of the drawers, and just keeping in mind all the techniques I kind of talked to you and showed you before. Now there are some areas where I felt like I had too much bell of the ball, so I will take a different natural bristle brush and I will dry brush the darker color hurricane in a little bit more where I thought there was too much bell of the ball. And you can just go back and forth between your two different colors, or how many colors you're using, until you get the look that you are wanting. With the sides, it's a little more simple. I am going to focus more heavily of the bell of the ball color in the center, and then keep a little bit of shading around the corners. And then I'm just gonna lightly dry brush over the rest of the piece and bell of the ball. Now that I'm done with the dry brushing, I'm going to grab my gold gilding wax by Dixie Belle, and I am going to gold up these hardware. I'm making sure I get good coverage on the front and on the back of the handle part as well. I'm only going to place gold accents on the hardware and the keyholes because I don't want gold to be everywhere. I just want it to be an accent. Now that I'm done painting, I'm going to use my Easy Peasy spray wax, and I am going to cover the piece. And then I'm going to wipe it with a lint-free cloth, and that is going to seal my furniture piece here. Time to remove the tape now. And lastly, we have to put on the hardware. And there she is. The Cinderella inspired dresser came out beautifully. I'm very happy with how it turned out.
And there you have it. We have made over this dresser from beginning to now, but we got to see how she got painted. So excited she's done, but isn't she so pretty? Just reminds me of Cinderella. I'm so happy. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. And if you liked what you saw and you want to see more, I do more videos like this. So go ahead, hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. That would be great. I can make more things like this for you if you subscribe. Woo! Well, that's all I got for you guys. I hope you have a fantastical day, and I will see you next time. Bye. Oh, the cat likes it too. Bye. She can't have it.